Kitty cats, did you say goodbye to Chaz?
Bye, kitty cats.
Chaz gotta go, kitties. You gotta go back to the land of corn.
Goodbye.
Which is, I think, the official state motto. I'm not entirely sure.
There's more than corn in Indiana.
Oh, is that the actual motto?
That's the tourism motto.
That's the slogan for Indiana Beach.
Oh, so there's sand. Wait, where's their beach?
Monticello, Indiana.
Anyway, hello and welcome to Monday. It's time for Chaz to go. So we gotta get him to the airport. We honestly all we've done today is just sat and talked, which is really nice and refreshing. There was also some stuff regarding our smell in the house, and we'll talk about that after we get back. But first, we gotta get to the airport. Chaz, it was good to see you. Thanks for being here. Thanks for hitting all the buttons. Thanks for making everything work. And we'll see you, another time whenever is good. Whenever it's good for you, it's whatever you want to do. So we're back home from the airport. This room is still a complete mess, but some of it's going to get cleaned up today before I go to bed, just because I need some of this stuff upstairs for breakfast stream. Obviously, I need the stream box, I need the lights, the monitor, and some of the other stuff. So at least some of this will be all done before I go to sleep. It was great hanging out with Chaz. Chaz is one of my best friends in the world, and he's also, like I've said many times before, a literal wizard. And having him here physically to help with Extra Life really saved the day. Like there was a lot of things that happened, and we were able to salvage from the destruction of Extra Life because Chaz was actually here. So thank you, Chaz, for being here, and I'm looking forward to next year. Chaz definitely wants to come back, and we'll see if how all that's going to play out. But I'm excited. Now, earlier, before we left to take Chaz to the airport, I said I would give an update on some of the things that are going on with the weird smell in the house. And to give a really quick summary, if this is the first you're hearing of it, when we moved into this place in the summer, there was a weird smell coming from the guest bedroom, but we weren't sure if it was like real or not. We weren't sure if we were imagining it, because sometimes we smelled it and sometimes we didn't. It took us a while to realize that when we were smelling it most was when we kept the door closed. We'd keep the door closed, then occasionally we'd go in there, and the smell just hit you like a ton of bricks. The best way to describe the smell was when you haven't used your furnace like all year, and then you finally turn it on for the first time. There's like dust that gets burned up, and it makes this like burning smell. That's kind of what it smelled like. So once we were sure that we weren't imagining this smell, we got, just a little bit concerned, because, this wasn't the furnace. We hadn't used the heat at all. This was the cool air. Why did that room smell so bad? It smelled a little bit like, kind of like an electrical burn. So we told our landlord. They sent out an HVAC person who checked everything and said it was fine. They were only here for like 5 minutes, but they're like, this is something smells weird in here. It's definitely not HVAC. It's electrical. It took us. I'm really downplaying how long it took to get like the landlord to do things. But anyway, eventually an electrician came out. This was while we were in China. And my mom was here and said that the electrician was super thorough, was here for like an hour, went through the room, like undid sockets, looked at stuff, and could not find anything, and said, this really seems like an HVAC issue. So we get back from China, and the HVAC person was supposed to come while we were in China. They never came. We got back. They never came. We actually ran into one of the workers, one of the owners or whatever, while we were taking a walk like a week or two ago, and they had asked like, hey, did you get that issue taken care of? Did they come out and deal with it? And we were like, they never came and dealt with it. And she was like, okay, well, I'll make sure that they do that. Well, this morning, I was like, this still hasn't happened. We need to send a message again. So we sent a message, and then probably 15 minutes, they showed up at our door, and I was like, okay, can you please get like HVAC back out here, since that's what they wanted to do, to look at this. So the other night, last night, 2 nights ago, we had a bit of an issue, and the reason that we were so adamant about, reaching out to them today is that we'd had the heat on because it got really cold. We had the heat on for most of the day or 2 days or something. And then at night, we turned the cool air on and we went to sleep. And because I guess the cold air hadn't been on in a while, the smell got really bad. In fact, it stretched all the way to our bedroom, which it's never done before. And Mal like shook me awake and was like, you know, that it smells like the house is on fire. And I woke up and I thought the house was on fire.
I mean, it was strong enough I thought the house was on fire.
Yeah, that's what it smelled like. And it didn't smell like smoke, but it smelled like that electrical burn. I thought for sure it was so strong, and it was in our bedroom, which it's never been. That's the reason why we, reached out to them today. So when HVAC came today, they checked everything, and they were here for a while, but they said, there's nothing that, I can see. And he said, it smells weird in here. He's like, but
it wasn't a cat smell.
And he said, it's not like a cat smell. He's like, but I went up there and I looked, and there's nothing wrong with anything. None of your wires. He said, you don't need to worry about your AC catching fire. He said, it's fine. He's like, this is an electrical problem. And like, I thanked him and I appreciate it, but at the same time, what? That was the second time HVAC's been out, and now they're going to have to send electric out a second time. And they just keep pointing back and forth at each other. Meanwhile, there's this awful, awful smell that happens when we use any sort of cold air. And it's so bad, especially if cold air hasn't been used in a while, that it literally smells like the house is burning down. We're going to get to the bottom of this. This is not our problem. This is not our house. We are renting. They have to fix this. But like, it's really frustrating. And we had put it off. I mean, like, again, this is their problem, and they said they would fix it, and then they never sent anyone out. And we had not bugged them about it because we've been busy. But the other night when we thought the freaking house was burning down, like that was like the moment of like, okay, time to reach out to them again, get someone out here. But like, we're the loss. We have no idea what's going on. But the HVAC guy was here a while today, and he looked into it and couldn't figure out what it was. So I guess the saga continues. We'll have an electrician out here maybe this week if we're lucky, and go through all of this again. Fun. Anyway, that is it for today. Thank you so much for watching. Gotta get this stuff cleaned up, and life will largely return back to normal tomorrow. Let's meet back tomorrow. Ciao.